Meet Ivy, from the heart of Liverpool, a woman who refuses to let anything hold her back. From travelling across the country to embracing every adventure that comes her way, Ivy's journey is about more than mobility, it's about independence, confidence, and living life on her own terms. This is her story.
Yeah, so my name's Ivy. I'm originally from Liverpool. I've moved around a couple of places due to studying and things like that, so I've lived in the Midlands quite a lot, in Stoke-on-Trent and Walsall. I've also lived in Bristol for a brief period as well during COVID. I by trade a filmmaker and a singer, and I'm not really able to do much of that anymore due to my health and disabilities, unfortunately. But prior to that getting to the severity that it has done, I was doing that full time. I co-owned a production company, and that was largely what I did. I did my masters as an interdisciplinary artist at the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire. So I have a condition called hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So that means that a lot of my joints dislocate at random. It's a connective tissue disorder, and basically it affects the connective tissue across your entire body. It's not just the joints that are affected, but for me, it largely does affect my joints, and I have pain all the time. And it also means that I have a lot of other comorbid conditions as well, such as a condition called POTS, which is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, and that is a type of dysautonomia, which means that basically my not central nervous system, but vagus nervous system, I think that's the one, is basically dysregulated, and I have issues with posture, and basically going from a lying down to sitting up position or sitting up to standing up, my blood pressure will skyrocket by 30 beats per minute, and that will mean my heart rate's constantly going, my blood will start pooling in my feet, and it'll cause a lot of fatigue, and it basically means I'm really dysregulated a lot of the time, and it has a knock-on effect to a lot of things in my life. A big trigger of it is heat and things like this as well, and a lot of factors in life that I just can't control. And another one is MCAS, which is the trifecta of these three conditions, which is mast cell activation syndrome. And all of that comes from the hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos, basically. So yeah, that's all combined together, basically, is why. So I've had the mobility issues my entire life. I was born with dislocated hips, so it was from the get-go essentially that joint issues were a problem. I was on crutches for a large portion of the time, and it wasn't until 2014 when my right knee fully went. I was waiting for full knee reconstructive surgery, that I was fully housebound, couldn't move, and ended up needing to use a wheelchair, and I was using a manual one. And I had this whole goal of trying not to need a chair. I was always trying to learn to walk again, and a lot of it was internalized ableism. It was not wanting to need a mobility aid, rather than just accepting the fact that it was there to help me. I had this thought that I didn't want it, and a lot of that was, I've worked on it now, but at the time that was the thing I was going through, and I tried to force myself through it basically, and went back onto crutches, and then tried to force myself off crutches for a while, but it was at my detriment. It just made it worse. Ended up back on crutches again, and then back into a wheelchair. And then it got to the point where I was no longer allowed to self-propel a manual wheelchair. I had a manual wheelchair, but by order of the NHS, I wasn't allowed to self-propel due to my condition. So I had to have someone with me at all times, but that wasn't feasible for me because I didn't have someone around at all times. I didn't have a carer. So my independence was gone. I was then gifted a mobility scooter by someone in the family who had gone into a nursing home and was no longer using it anymore. That was very short-lived and it wasn't fit for my needs at the time. So it was only a very short-term solution. So I needed to look around and be like, I need to find something that's going to work for me. And that was when I finally found the electric chair that I now use. So when I was looking online for an electric wheelchair, I needed it to meet a certain criteria. One of them was that it needed to fold down small enough to fit into a small car. The other was that it needed to be light enough to be lifted in order to do that. And it also needed to fit my size because I'm not small. And a lot of electric chairs out there have a size capacity that is not suitable for me. And the other criteria was that I was on a small budget. So meeting all of those parameters was nigh on impossible. So I was looking online and I was like, this is not working. Like, I can't find it. And because of where I was living at the time, I was living in Walsall. And I came across Etech Mobility because it was in Birmingham. And I was like, that's really not far from where we currently are. And I was looking through their chairs and I was like, oh, this actually does fit all of my criteria. Like, and they've got a showroom where I can actually go and look at the chairs, try them out. Like, they also can deliver the next day, but I can actually go and see if this fits my needs, fits into the car that we've currently got. Like, this is perfect. So that's what we went with. Yeah, I felt really reassured and cared for with the buying experience. I was able to ask any and all questions that I had, which there were many, because it was a big purchase. It was a big commitment for me because it is a big investment, especially because it's going to be something that you are investing into your independence at the end of the day. Like, it's no small feat. And Etech Mobility at every step were constantly patient, and any query or worry that I had put me at ease at every step. And I was able to try and ask for things. I was able to ask about any customizations or like, would this work, would that work? And they were so patient, they were lovely. Like, I couldn't ask for better. So I was able to try it in the small actual showroom inside, but then I was actually taken out of the showroom and able to try it on different terrains, which I really appreciated, because I think one thing people don't realize is like how difficult it is to use chairs on multiple different types of terrains and different size curbs and potholes and things like this. No one ever seems to factor it in, and like having that like option to do that prior to purchasing the chair and knowing exactly what it's going to be like before you even own it is, yeah, that's priceless. Like, knowing exactly what you're purchasing and knowing how that's going to work is, yeah, it's exactly the experience you need. It was very different, especially going from a mobility scooter handles, because obviously with a mobility scooter, you've got your brake and reverse are just different directions from like one hand to the other, whereas with the joystick it's just forwards and backwards, and it's how much pressure you put. So that was a very different transition for me. I was fortunate in the fact that I grew up playing video games, so I adapted rather quickly, but like it was still a very different transition and being like, oh, okay, like this is something I do have to adapt to and get used to. The battery life was fantastic. Like, I knew it was going to be pretty decent, but like the fact that it can last as long as it does really surprised me. Like, I could go out for solidly for like almost 2 days with the two separate batteries that I've got, because I've got the dual connector with the two separate batteries, and I can go out solidly, like wandering all around town, wandering to different supermarkets without charging, without taking them off once. And I'm a large person as well, and I'm on full speed as well, and I don't need the charger. and I can run it right down to the last bar and like, right, now I need to charge it. Like, the batteries are immense, genuinely. The folding feature, it's literally just a clip at the back and then the whole thing can collapse down. Like, it compared to, I know I keep referring back to my previous mobility scooter, but in order for us to get that into the car previous, we had to deconstruct the entire thing. So it would be a case of lifting a lever on the underside of the chair, lifting that off, then lifting out a battery, then folding down the handle down to the base of the thing, and then trying to lift this entire thing into 3 separate segments. Like, the difference was, yeah, it's not comparable. Like, it's so much easier with this. So I'm now able to go on public transport on my own. I never used to be able to get the bus, like, ever. I can actually get onto buses on my own. That was unheard of on the scooter. I can get on trains, I can get on buses. I go to festivals now. I can go to the cinema. I can have a life. Like, yeah, I can go see my friends, and that's, yeah.
Yeah, that's really nice.
I wouldn't change that for the world, genuinely. I have actually just got on my first holiday since being, like, needing mobility aids fully. And yeah, it was really enjoyable, really easy to do because I had the chair. And I even went and come to visit you lot at the showroom and spoke to you about how to get it through security and things, and how easy it was to make sure, like, it was all folded up properly and stuff, and you all, like, reassured me, which is really nice. But no, even, like, being able to, like, travel and go see places that I didn't think I'd be able to again, like, yeah, that was really nice, because I thought that was out of the question for me. I would say it's completely understandable to be nervous about buying it, but you will not regret buying the chair. 100% do your research, and as enticing as it is to do the whole, like, next day delivery, if you are able to go to a showroom and try it out, I would highly recommend it. If those nerves are, like, really worrying you, just to put it, like, get that peace of mind, just because you can try it out, and on all of those terrains, you can also meet the staff as well, because these are all lovely. But, like, genuinely, like, you can get all of your questions answered. Like, even, like, the customer care line and stuff, like, as a company, you have always been there to answer every single question. And I would, yeah, hands down recommend just buy the chair. It will genuinely, like, it'll give you that independence and freedom that you're after.
A huge thank you to Ivy for sharing her journey with us. Her independent spirit and determination are truly inspiring, and we hope her story encourages others to make the leap towards greater freedom. We've also recently introduced a monthly giveaway, created to help more people start their own journey to independence. If you'd like to learn more about it or have any questions, our specialists are always happy to help. Simply get in touch or explore the links below.